give you one more shot, so. We had a school board member who was a minister who was on his way down to Mississippi to hold a revival. He was weaving in the road and was stopped by a highway patrolman. They pulled him over and he had a gallon jug on the seat beside him. And the highway patrolman said, are you under the influence? He said, oh, no. He said, well, what's in that jug? He said, oh, that's just water. He said, what are you doing drinking that water? He said, well, I'm a minister. I'm going down here to Mississippi to hold a revival, and my throat is bad to get dry. And I just sip on that water as I go along to keep my throat good and dry so I can preach a really good sermon when I get down there. The highway patrolman said, well, let me see that, if you will. He handed him over and smelled that jug, and he said, sir, this is wine. The minister looked up at the sky and he said, Lord, you've done it again. That's kind of the way I feel about this program tonight. It's amazing to me that Tammy could plan a program without me. You think you're getting something special, just wait till I'm gone. I'd like to take a crack at every one of you people that said something about me tonight, because I know a whole lot of stuff about you. To be honest, Don McAllister, I got up and sung that old song he can't sing in the first place. And he could have had some better musical accompaniment than that. Lord have mercy, Don had it off. Don used to be a school principal, though. When Don was a school principal, there's 3 little old boys out on the playground. They had a little old dog down there, and they was down there, all of them gathered around down there talking about that dog. And Don would say, what are you boys doing? They said, well, we found this dog out here, and we decided that whoever tell the biggest lie gets to take his dog home. Don said, now, boys, when I was your age, lie never occurred to me. He said, I was a man of character, and I always thought about doing the right thing. I would never, ever even have thought about telling a lie. They said, give him the dog. Hubbard had the courage to get up here and say some of the stupid things that he said. I have known Levon a long time. Levon thinks of himself as a scholar because he's got a library. Got 20 books in it. Had a little fire down at his house, burned up all 20 of his books. And really the sad thing is, 15 of them hadn't even been colored in. Clyde Smith, after all the things I've done for him, to get up and make remarks like he made. You ought to have seen him if he'd been present without me to take care of him. He's bad enough as he was, but Lord have mercy. Clyde and Laurie went to a marriage seminar, trying to be like Paul and me, have a real happy marriage. They get along good, but you see, they really were trying to get along better. So went to this marriage seminar, and the marriage counselor said, it's really important, folks, for you to know about what your spouse thinks is important. He said, for example, how many of you husbands know what your wife's favorite flower is? And Clyde leaned over to Laurie and said, Pillsbury all-purpose in it. Prescott. Really a sad day when somebody that you know and love gets up and says stuff like that about you. Barbara's a psychologist. She has a doctorate. And as a psychologist, she's a trained psychologist. She's had a real profound impact on me. She told me, really, she said, I'll tell you one thing you need to learn to do. Don't believe everything you think. That's pretty deep, isn't it? And make comments about me. Show some of these old pictures of me over here. when I was young and foolish. They put that old hair on me. That is graphic stuff. I had short hair and flat top all the time. Well, somebody asked me, they said, Dan, you're going to have some cosmetic surgery to remove those wrinkles on your face. I didn't know I had any, but I'll tell you this, I'm not going to have any cosmetic surgery. I want people to know that I've come a long way, I've traveled a long way, and a lot of roads weren't even paved. Kind of like a politician showed up at the pearly gates. A truck had hit him and killed him, and he showed up at the pearly gates. St. Peter said, we don't have your name on the list up here. We hardly ever get a politician in heaven. He said, well, I'm supposed to be here. I've lived a really good life. I know I'm supposed to be here. And St. Peter said, no, I don't think it's yours. I said, at least your name's not on the list over here. So he called to get some instructions. He said, well, we're going to make a kind of a special deal out of you because we don't ever get any politicians up here. We're going to let you spend a day in heaven and a day in hell. But you got to spend your day in hell first. Oh, he said, no, I don't need to spend a day. He said, yeah, we're going to let you do that because we're going to give you a choice after you've done that. Then you get to choose where you spend eternity. He said, I know I'm going to stay in heaven. Just leave me up here. I don't want to go through that. I'll just choose heaven right now. No, he said, I'm sorry, that's the way the rules are, and you got to go. So he got on his elevator and went down, wound up down there when the door opened. Everything was lush and green, and he looked over there and he saw a clubhouse and golf courses all over the place, and people out there eating and dressed in their fine evening dress, and they were having caviar and eating all kind of fancy foods and drinking wines and stuff. And he said, man, I didn't know this was like this. Well, he spent 24 hours down there, just had a ball. But before long, it was time for him to end that day and go back to heaven. So the next day, he spent the day in heaven. He's floating around on the clouds, playing harps, singing with people who had better voices than Don McAllister. And the day went by pretty fast, but when he came to the end, St. Peter said, okay, now you spent a day in heaven, a day in hell. I said, which one are you going to take? He said, boy, this comes as a great surprise to me. But he said, I think I liked hell better. Well, they put him on the elevator and sent him back down. The doors opened up. Everything was just devastated looking. Just sand and old hot sun out there. All of his friends that he'd seen at evening were out there with black garbage bags, picking up garbage, and they would have their tongues hanging out, and their clothes were all ragged and tarnished. And he said to the devil, he said, whatever happened here yesterday? The day before yesterday, everything was lush and green, everything looked so fine, all this food and everything. He said, the day before yesterday, we were campaigning. Today, you have voted. I could tell you some stuff about some of your school boards, that some of you got up here and made some derogatory remarks about me and stuff like that. You know, like if you think that Jerry Springer show's bad, you ought to see your school board meeting. I'm not going to say anything about that. I got some stuff I jotted down, and some of you say, I'm going to put out, probably write a little book about some of the things that school board members have done. Like one of my good friends, not going to maybe be sitting right here tonight in this room, said as a school board chairman, as a person who come before the school board appeared before him. This man got up and he was really raising Cain about one of the policies that the school board had passed, didn't like it at all. And he said, and I want you to know, my child, I'm not over here complaining because my child is not a good student, my child is an honor student. And this chairman said, your child may be an honor student, but that doesn't keep you from being a fool. I got a lot of little anecdotes like that. And if you'll just, there's some forms outside. 1995, if you sign up for it now, if you wait till my book comes out, it's going to cost you a whole lot more. A lot of you ask me, what are you going to be doing after you retire? Well, I've had a lot of offers. Some of you thought I couldn't do anything else, but I've had a lot of offers. I've thought some about being a professional wrestler. I've had an offer to be in a gospel quartet, singer in a gospel quartet. And I had one offer to be a table dancer at a fine saloon. But I think probably what I'm going to be doing is I'm probably just going to be an evangelist and come around to your school boards and tell you what you ought to be doing that you're not doing, and rebaptize some of you right there. Well, seriously, I want to say to you folks, I've really enjoyed my 25 years with you. I love you all. You're a wonderful group of people. What makes a job fun is to have people that you like to work with and people that are good sports. And if you can't laugh about what you do, you probably oughtn't to be doing it. A lot of us take ourselves way too seriously. We need to take our job seriously, but not ourselves so much. And you've done that really well. And I thank you for the laughs that I've had with you and for the serious times that I've had with you. And I thank you for your friendship. And I thank you for your love. And I thank you for your encouragement. And I thank you for what you do for boys and girls. Because school board members can make a world of difference. And you do make a world of difference. And I thank you for that. And it's really been my privilege to serve with you. And I look forward to seeing you around. I'm not going to be gone. Some of you said it's been nice knowing you. A lot of you told me that day it's been nice knowing you. I'm not dead yet. You're still going to know me. And education is just too important for me to leave to you. I feel like I will have to stay involved in some sort of way. But I do thank you very much. And like I said in the delegate assembly this afternoon, I think I've had the best job in the world during these past 25 years. And I'd like to just take everyone up and tell you what I think about you individually. And I sure do appreciate you folks tonight making a special trip to come out, Sandra and Dan and Gary and Sue for coming all the way down here. Charles came down from Virginia. I had to pay his airline ticket. He still came down, and David Haynes out, and all you folks that are here. Thank you so very much. I love you and I appreciate you very, very much. Keep up the good work.
Dan, we've done the roast, and we're going to do the toast to you. And I think I speak for everyone here to say, to our loved, our good friend, and our outstanding executive director, we love you, and it won't be the same without you. We'll go on, but you're going to be missed. Thank you very much for what you've done for Tennessee, for all of us. We certainly appreciate it.